All right, and that is the countdown. We have two of the best Zergs on the entire planet, Fnatic MSI Sen versus OGS Zenio. This is a ZVZ for the ages, ladies and gentlemen. It's just the first week of the North American Star League, but yet we still find it within our abilities to bring you two of the best Zergs on the whole planet.
Boom. I can't wait. As Fnatic MSI Sen is my teammate.
Yes.
We are on the team. Can you guess Fnatic MSI?
Pretty good.
It's a pretty good team. Pretty decent team.
One that goes to Coaching Premier League over Dignitas. Another team that, I don't know, they do okay.
Dignitas, EG, and Team Liquid. I just want to throw those in there.
I believe EG in that clan league sits at 1-0 over Fnatic.
But where it matters.
I know.
GG, yeah.
We're actually going to edit that out of your part, though. That's fine.
Wow.
Let's go ahead and do some player introductions real quick before we make any more terrible jokes. We do have the Red Zerg morphing in the 12 o'clock position. He is Fnatic MSI Sen, hailing out of Taiwan, one of the best foreigner Zergs. I made the case that I think he is the best, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe the North American Star League can actually settle that. Or, if someone else will have a say in it, it would be OGS Zenio, hailing out of Korea, a fantastic S-Class professional Zerg. Famous, actually, to us foreigners for having a bit of a spicy relationship with one Evil Genius' Idra. Now, of course, you can't give all the blame to Zenio. Idra brings he's actually a bit of a lightning rod for drama, so certainly, please, if you're just now hearing about Zenio, don't go looking into that thinking Zenio's the villain. Not necessarily the case. And look at this. Thank you for drawing attention to that by wavering your screen.
I actually zoomed in, zoomed out multiple times.
Is that what your eyes did when you saw it? You're like, whoa. Look at this. There are so many guys just being produced and collapsed in upon themselves. This is a rush, ladies and gentlemen. The spawning pool is almost complete. And, oh my gosh, Zenio's spawning pool has not even been... Okay, well, there it is. It's just now started. Thankfully, he's not doing hatch first, but this is close positions on Metalopolis. It's super fast.
Very dangerous for Zenio. I don't know if he's going to have the time to defend this, as he's just now starting to research, or mine some gas, I should say, for that metabolic boost. But these Zerglings, they're going to come out at a really opportune time, as I don't know if Sen knows where he is just yet. But I think this Overlord positioning is going to give a huge tell on where he is. And Sen's all tingly in his boots as he knows his close positions, and Zerglings are making their ways over to Zenio's base.
And I'll tell you, right about now is when Zenio knows something is afoot.
And he didn't save any larva.
Oh, he actually produced
He only has one larva worth of Zerglings.
Yeah, but look at the income tab. He does have 16 drones, and drones are actually okay at defending. So Sen has to do a lot of damage right this instant. He is Sen's actually producing a second queen, so that's kind of an interesting choice. 2 queens already. Now, these drones are disrupting the mineral line really well, but Zenio, allowing him to do that, has actually taken no losses.
Oh, no.
And Lings are now out. Oh, a couple do get ambushed just a little bit. And now it's 4 Lings for Zenio. Here come the drones. They're going to team up with those Lings and try to get the surround off, but Sen fears no man, pushing forward. Queen now joining in as well. And it looks like Sen's trying to target down those drones, but is relatively unsuccessful. And I would say this is an expert defense from our Zenio player.
Yeah, meanwhile in the background, Sen is trying to drone up. We can see 15-2-14. But in the production, he's stopped all Zergling count. So that's going to be very tough.
Yeah.
He does have the 2
Metabolic
queens.
could kick in here.
Oh,
Sen has to be really careful. I don't think it actually will finish.
Yeah,
I think he'll get back up.
It goes. But crucially, I mean, the 2 queens are going to give him enough defense. That was the timing. He has the 2 queens to defend against everything. Has the spine crawler, so he can drone up here. There's no way that Zenio can pressure with these Zerglings.
No, it was effectively a macro opening. He almost droned immediately afterwards. The second queen allows him to both spread creep and continue his injections continuously. We now have a Roach Warren going down for Sen.
Yep.
And Zenio is actually expanding, so it's going to be like a speedling expansion. And I'll tell you what, in my limited ZVZ experience at this stage, at this level at least, I can say that the speedling opening is really good against Roaches. Again, if he adds Banelings, he could be in trouble.
And he uproots.
But the queens are good. Queens are really good in this situation.
Going to be swinging around here. The Zerglings, one Zergling is going to be caught out of position. However, I think it's just a scout and see. Do you think, did he get to see the Roach Warren? Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Not the Roach's Warren, by the way. That's what I found out.
They don't visit that bar too much. And actually, Zenio immediately throwing down his own Roach Warren, which means that he's going to have higher production and the same tech, albeit a little bit slower. So it'll be interesting to see how Sen kind of reacts from here. He does have a huge influx of roaches about to erupt. 6 roaches are going to touch down. And I got to believe it's going to be like a pseudo-roach timing, meaning he's just going to go with this 6 or 7 roaches and then produce lings behind it, because that's his only window. He has to do it now. He's got to go. He can't macro from here. If he tries to macro, he's just going to be behind, in my opinion.
Yeah, he doesn't even have metabolic boost, so it has to be for these roaches. I think he's going to
Zenio
wait
is,
an extra
supply
round,
blocked.
though.
Look at this.
He's going to wait an extra round. Ooh, I'm not sure if I like this. He needs to take advantage of this one timing.
He's building some drones, too.
Zenio's already seen it, and now going to make a spine crawler.
Oh, you know what? I don't like Zenio's read here. He's building a couple... Okay, so now he's building 6 roaches, but he built a couple drones. He was supply blocked for a second. He's now uprooted spine crawler. It's coming down. But Sen is all in for all intents and purposes. We do have a final roach being added to the tally. If you look at the unit counting station,
He's coming.
it is 12 roaches for Sen versus the 6, now 7 of Zenio. So a huge advantage. And here we go. Sen's actually pushing forward. I think he has about equal lane count, maybe just a little bit less. And he's actually expanding behind this. Very interesting. So it's not a full all-in.
And now the engagement starts. Going to be focusing on the spine crawler.
Oh, big transfusions,
nice
though.
transfuse.
Oh, my gosh. I think Sen's going to get overran here. So almost the same number of roaches pushing them back. Ling's adding extra DPS and surround ability. And Sen just tucks his tail and is having to run back home right now. But if you look at the production tab, we do have additional Lings coming out for both players. Actually, no, excuse me. It's just roaches for Sen. And Sen, where does he find this money? This guy is so good. He is doing what I would have called it an all-in, but then he's falling back on a hatchery. And he's squeezing out production from places I didn't know you could. Meanwhile, Zenio actually throwing down an evolution chamber as well as a few drones, sneaking them in there. And that's such a good point for Zerg players around the world to see. It's not like you only have to produce one thing off all this larva. You can diversify, and I think both these players are showcasing that right now.
Now, do keep in mind, Zenio has the Zergling metabolic boost upgrade, so he does have a little bit more. He has that extra counterattack threat that Sen doesn't. So Sen's going to play a little bit more passive. It gives Zenio the chance to drone pump much stronger than Sen, because Sen still needs to kind of scale. He's in the dark. He doesn't have good scouts on what his opponent is doing. And I think that's going to lead a little bit of advantage to Zenio going into this mid-game. As we can see, 28 Harvesters to 21 for Sen.
Yeah, and now Sen is producing just pure units. We have Lings and Roaches coming out of there, as well as Metabolic Boost upgrade. Zenio playing very safe as well, but he is mixing a few drones here and there, so his unit production in terms of what fights really well is not as high as Sen, but I think he can afford that because it looks like, as this game's shaping up, he will be the defender. But he's throwing away some Zerglings here. Sen moves out to the middle of the map, kills 4 Zerglings essentially for free. And behind that, he's producing 22 Zerglings, 2 Roaches, and again, just piling out the units. And you can see they're hitting at the top of that ramp, so this is going to be an all-in. It's some kind of a time.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. I think Zenio is comfortable in maxing right now, or massing up a lot of units. But we can see that...
Well, he's got drones coming out, though, and he's taking his gas as well.
He is drone pumping quite a bit. Income tab, we do have 35 to 21, so this timing has to come up pretty soon.
Yep, and here we go. He's moving across. The Roaches are slower, so he doesn't want to reveal the Zerglings just yet. Here they come. They're going to erupt down that ramp right behind. Meanwhile, Zenio is now making 4 Roaches. His +1 range upgrade will not actually be in effect in the initial stage of this fight. And there we go. The Roaches are hitting now all up in the face of both players. Wish I had more
but there
better
are
words
so
for
many
that. And
Zerglings
oh my
for
gosh,
Sen.
a terrible angle for Zenio trying to get over that hatchery, but he gets pinned up against it.
There's just way too many Zerglings for Sen. Sen is wiping out everything. Drones
Wow.
coming into the battle now. But it looks like Sen is going to take the victory in this battle and take crucial position. Sen
He
also
moved
brings
his spine crawler.
a spine crawler.
Brilliant play. And that's it. He has
Zenio
nearly
has
20
nothing
Roaches.
else. And
that's
GG.
Wow.
He brings a spine crawler.
Well, that's just smart. That's from, I mean, what else is it going to do? He's all in.
He's all in. He has
to
do it.
No. So really smart play by Sen. Just kind of boiling out those Zerglings behind the Roach count, moving with the Roaches first to thin out any kind of feelers. Like, It could have just been, maybe I'm just kind of moving out for positioning or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Zenio, being the player he is, knew what it was the second he saw how many roaches that Sen had.
Backed up.
But in those close positions on Metalopolis, there's not a whole lot of time to react. If that's a bigger map, Zenio can throw down the defenses. His production can kick in and perhaps save him. But because it's such a short distance, Sen was the guy building pure units. There was no drones being snuck in there. It was all roaches, all lings. And once that metabolic boost upgrade kicked in, he was going to say, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
He's actually so going for it, he threw the kitchen sink at him with the spine crawler.
In that last battle, he was actually behind in the roach count by 2. Zenio was at the capacity of being at 35 drones to Sen's only 21. But the fact that he had 50 Zerglings accompanying along against Zenio's only 8, I mean, clearly that timing was very apparent. After he made the hatchery, he didn't make any drones from that hatchery, and it really showed that timing was so strong. And close positions, I can't belabor that enough.
Yeah.
Close positions are definitely why Sen was able to be so successful with that attack, because the surprise element was still there.
And that's the kind of player Sen is. I mean, he's been criticized even as a guy who will certainly use the Roachling all-in, if you will, in a lot of his matchups. He's a very aggressive Zerg in that way. But most recently, especially in the TSL, he showcases brilliant macro play. So, I mean, one of the things you got to say about Sen is he's the full spectrum player, which makes him so dangerous. He's capable of being hyper-aggressive with an all-in type play, or is capable of falling back on his haunches, and guess what? He's a better macro player than most of us as well. So Zenio is now 0-1 in this best of 3. We're going to move on to Crevasse, and I got to wait and see how Zenio recovers from this. He is a big-time Star League player. He's been on the biggest stage that StarCraft 2 has to offer on this planet. He has to rally back to defend against the fanatically aggressive Sen.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We'll be taking a short break, and we'll be getting back to you momentarily.
And there's the countdown. Fnatic Sen up 1-0 over OGS Zenio. We will be going into map number 2 in this best of 3. It is Crevasse. Now, as a reminder, this is the older version of Crevasse. A little bit controversial. Some people have had some words about it. We will take a look at it. But for right now, this does have 4 gas, readily accessible to 2 Zerg players. And I can tell you, in my extensive Zerg knowledge, that when you have that much gas available to you, the world is open to you. You can do whatever you want. Infestors, Mutalisks, everything. I've even seen Ultralisk in ZVZ. Yes, I've seen Ultralisk in ZVZ.
I have too. Zergling Infestor into Ultra, to be precise, as it destroys roaches with the Infestor and Ultra. That's getting way too ahead of ourselves.
I hope it happens, though. Be cool.
Me too. But, a little thing about Crevasse is it does lend itself to a more macro-intensive play, as the natural is extremely easy to take. You can see it's going to be covered. We've gone into this map quite a bit.
We've done that a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to belabor that point anymore. But, you get that expansion up very quickly. I think 15 hatch is the norm for a ZVZ on this map. So it can only lend itself to a more macro-intensive map. We're going to see roaches and infestors. Prediction.
Sick prediction, my friend.
Thanks, Joe.
Both players opening with the exact same opening. They're actually right in alignment with each other. Canceling that geyser, getting that extra drone out, and then go ahead and droning up here. It looks like it might be a hatch first from both these players. If we are sitting at 15 supply for both, money is kind of building up. Let's see if we've got the same dinner on the menu, so to speak. And yes, indeed we do. So this will be that macro ZVZ, at least for the time being, we kind of thought about and dreamt about. And just to, again, to kind of talk about these players, Fnatic Sen is in Korea right now, competing in and around the GSL. You're on his team. Again, dang it, I'm opening the window to throw you under the bus. But where is he progressing? Is he Code A? Is he trying to qualify for Code A, or what is he doing?
I think he's actually out of Korea right now.
Is he?
I don't think he's competing anymore. He's back in Taiwan.
Oh, okay.
Because he's a coach for a Taiwanese professional team. So he needs to be back there. And if I do remember correctly, he is back in Taiwan. So he's He's back in his home. Just going to be a little comfortable.
Well, you know, for those of you that aren't aware of that, because it's not getting a whole heck of a lot of attention, Taiwan has it's like a stadium studio. They've got pro gamer houses. They've got pro gamer teams. So they're actually blowing up their StarCraft 2 scene. And if anyone is interested, please do check that out. I know there's some threads on Team Liquid, but probably a quick Google search will yield a lot of results. And that's actually so awesome. Sen is a bit of a hometown hero over there, and a lot of people are really excited by that. But let's go ahead and get into the game just a little bit. Both players have expanded. Spawning pools going down. Both are mining gas. Metabolic speed upgrade is immediately initiated for OGS Zenio. We'll call him Zenio. And the exact same thing from Sen. So both these players could have been brothers from a different mother type of thing. And in fact, if you look at the income tab, they have the exact same number of drones, which makes our job as commentating a little bit interesting. What do you say when both guys are the exact same thing?
They're twins.
They are twins. Overlords are dancing around the middle of the map. In fact, even they will do a chest bump in the middle of the map. Both players did scout the opposite direction from each other, which is a little bit nice with their Overlords. And now Zerglings are entering the field, and this is a really important stage of ZVZ because there is not a whole lot of anti-air. We did see a Queen very slowly make her way out into the middle of the field and kill an Overlord yesterday, but there probably won't be a whole heck of a lot of that here just because of the way the creep layout is. But so in lieu of that, you need to position your Overlords in places where you can see things like 35 Roaches and 50 Zerglings coming after you.
Yeah, it does behoove him. Baneling's Nest actually going for Zenio. So Zenio looking to step up the pressure in the beginning. Actually, Baneling's
Both players doing it.
Never mind. I take it back. I'm not in the production tab. Sorry,
You could
guys.
actually solo cast one of these guys, and it would be the exact same thing for right now.
A lot more Zerglings coming out for Zenio than Sen. And Sen is actually going to spot it. He does have 5 drones more than his opponent. And it's going to be kind of risky to see who's going to be on top for this.
Well, defensive banelings are super powerful. I mean, yes, of course, they're both dealing with the same stuff, so offensive banelings and defensive ones should be roughly the same thing as long as you are able to connect with that. But the difference there is the ramp. If Sen can narrow down the opponent, and look at that, denied entry. Sen is running a nightclub, but he doesn't want any Zerglings in. 3 Zerglings go down for free, but now they're out on the field, and there's banelings making their way towards his mineral line. Sen! Oh! And he trades. Okay, well, that's a total of, I think, 4.
That's a great trade.
4 for 8.
And now the Queen is going to get in here. There's one.
No damage.
0 damage. Zenio.
You heard a drone. That's it.
Oh, my gosh. Zenio got hurt so hard grouping up his banelings like that.
And there's that defensive advantage. I mean, he ran by with his lanings. I was a little worried for Sen because he kind of left that ramp wide open. But then trading, I think it was 4 banelings for 8. I'll take that trade. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Retort by $5 in my pocket. I'll give it to you for 20.
That sounds like a great deal.
Fantastic call. And then it happened. And that's exactly what happened in the game. Now, Zenio, not one to give up, like the little engine that could. He's actually sending more lings across the map, presumably to make banelings, and there they are converting in the middle of the map. Now, Sen is actually doing the same thing, so he could go for the counterattack, but I got to give his position much more credence.
Ooh,
and lings make their way out. They see these morphing banelings, and Zenio has to be really careful. Looks like they're ambushing one baneling just ever so slightly. They do need... Oh, nope, they back off on it. Meanwhile, Sen making his way over. A pair of banelings might go up this ramp, but there are a pair of banelings waiting for him. And... actually, they back away from it. Holy crap. Big baneling goes off, killing a bunch of lings. Meanwhile, there's double action going on here inside Sen's base. He has lost control of the ramp for at least now. Never mind, he's got huge control.
Oh,
and at the middle line, Zenio loses a... Did he lose drones? No, not really.
We can see Sen did lose his queen here, and now 3 banelings are going to be able to get in.
Oh my
kill
gosh.
4 drones. So going to the income tab, we do see Zenio is ahead in drones, 31 to 35, but at the units tab, there are 49 Zerglings out for Sen, and a lot more banelings being pumped as well.
Yeah,
so.
And he's overrunning these Zerglings in the middle of the map. Now they both do have metabolic speed upgrades, so they can actually retreat. Sen has to be careful. There's 2 banelings looking to converge, and Sen breaks away expertly, pegging a couple. They get broadsided by those banelings, and he still has enough, it would seem, to overrun this ramp. Again, another baneling is there. He's got to be careful.
He needs to back up. He needs
3
to back
banelings,
up.
actually.
And now we can see Zenio is transitioning over to Roach Tech. He has the Roach Warren, not the Roach's Warren, the Roach Warren. And he can plug his ramp if he ever needs to, just to keep him completely safe. They keep poking up at each other. with Zerglings and Banelings, but I think it's going to be averted now. Finally, Sen. Oh no, Sen is massing up in a ton of.
Yeah, he's just going for it, man. He knows nothing else.
Can't do anything else.
He is just now making. Yeah, he's making roaches. Takes both his gases, so he will be up to 4 gas. So I think. I don't know. I think this is just for the time being. If you look, his production behind that is actually almost pure drones. So he is macroing behind this aggression, but he really wants to get some damage in it, it would seem. Now, with roaches here on the ramp, I don't like the chances of that. They're going to plug up that ramp, and I think Sen's going to back away. Unless the roaches move out. Oh, he's got to be careful.
They get...
Wow.
Oh, no. The Banelings are going to go off very crucially. And do keep in mind, roaches are extremely strong
No, that was terrible.
Banelings.
Yeah, that was a really bad choice by Sen.
Not looking good right now.
Yeah, he lost all those lings for very little in exchange. Zenio is now making additional Banelings at the top of that ramp, and his roaches are just marching across the map. That might have been actually too much of an advantage. He wants to push across, if not to just incur a reaction from Sen, get him away from making just pure drones, but also maybe to push the issue and win the game.
Here, you can see Zergling's just on this bottom ramp. Sen looks like he wants to. No, he's not. He can't push out as he has less units.
Sen's having a tough time spending his money. He's hovering around 700 minerals here.
But roaches are on the way, so it might give him the ability to defend, but Zenio does have a ton of roaches here. And he's going to catch him a little bit out of position, but this one Baneling is going to get in here, kill most of the Zerglings, and additional Banelings are going to come in. And not looking good for Sen right now, as more units are being rallied, and Zerglings and roaches are just pouring into Sen's base. But Sen's reinforcements, 4 Banelings are going to come into the mineral line.
Oh, and that was 5 drones go down, and they're still giving chase. Additional drones go down. It is now waiting for it to update, but a lot of harvesters have gone down, and it looks like actually Sen will clean it up.
Sen is equal in harvesters.
Did we miss something? I'm going to feel really dumb if we did.
Sen is equal in harvesters somehow, and fended off that attack.
And he has a lot more roaches.
I don't know how he's doing this.
If we missed something, I apologize.
I don't know how he's doing this.
He might have taken... Well, okay, he's pushing out here a little bit. Now, I did see a Spire critically going down for Sen. He doesn't really have the minerals here, but he doesn't need that many minerals. There's only 2 queens out for Zenio. He is just now making his lair. It's about a quarter of the way done. So if he can amass secretly just 8 or 9 Mulas and get them over there, they can do a lot of damage. Now, of course, that's not what seems to be taking shape. There we go. 5 Mulas go down instantly. This could be really dangerous, because the nice thing about Mulas in this stage is even if they don't kill the Zerg player, okay, even if they're not able to finish the game, what they do force is additional queens, stack defenses, and then they go pick off every freaking overlord on the map.
Yeah.
It's very hard for those Mulas not to be worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful because you can't let your ground army be compromised from that.
Right.
You can be counterattacked very easily, and Mutas actually don't have the DPS or the speed to keep up with Zerglings and Roaches. So that has to be taken into note. But if you do manage to get these Mutalisks out, it's very advantageous. As you said, denying map control and also picking off queens. If you pick off 2 queens, that's just about...
He's going to go for it right there. Overseer sees it, so... Instantly, Zenio's got to react very, very fast. He hasn't just yet. Hydra's Den is going down right now. He does have Evolution Chambers, so now we see Spore Crawlers going down as well. And it looks like Sen's not going to make a beeline for the main. He's actually just going to go ahead and sate his bloody thirst on all these Overlords in the middle map. He did get one, and actually he's pausing. I really don't like this. He's got to get on his horse and make the damage happen now, because this is his time.
Absolutely, and the Spore Crawler is going to finish up here, but going to be doing almost Brood War-esque micro, going back and forth with these Mutalisks. Again, denying all this information is extremely useful for Sen. Sen can play a lot more direct, and on top of that, we're going to be seeing drone pumps coming out from, 49 drones to Zenio's 38, so Sen is looking absolutely on top.
Yeah, his macro is unreal. He keeps forcing aggression out, and then somehow still having the macro of a guy who would be like, he's just such a phenomenal player. And back to the mineral line, just go ahead and picking off a couple drones. The nice thing about this is he can take damage. Queens don't do huge amounts of damage per hit, so you can go ahead and absorb some of that damage. You just can't stay there forever. So that's what he's doing.
As I was trying to say before, the queens, if you kill queens, That's just about 50 seconds. That's a theoretical second hatch rate that you're losing in larva. That's a lot of larva production. So if you are able to kill those 2 queens in that early beginning, obviously he wasn't able to. But that's a huge hit to your opponent.
Yeah. Now, double evolution chambers are down for Sen. He is going to go ahead and upgrade both range attack and carapace. It seems that he will be sticking on the Roach upgrade. He does have the Roach speed upgrade going down. Meanwhile, Zenio, because of those Mutas, has had to shift to Hydras, and I feel like here's one of the problems, I think the things that Zergs do that I don't necessarily like is they overkill on Hydras. If this Muta number is increasing dramatically, then yes, you got to keep making Hydras, but, well, actually, that's quite a few Mutas. Perhaps that is the right call. Now, good harass from Sen, picking off that Overseer, and it looks like he might actually just kind of harry the back of that convoy, but most importantly, he knows what's coming, and Sen's got to hold this expansion area.
He's trying to get his Banelings up in time. I'm not sure if he has the centrifugal hooks.
He does.
Yeah, let me
he does.
Oh, he does.
Oh, no. On the Banelings, no.
Okay, so he doesn't have that just yet. And I love this harass going on from Sen, just taking advantage of the fact that there is no way
No reinforcements.
Yeah, exactly. No way to reinforce any of this. And a lot of Roach Baneling is over here. The Banelings are extremely effective against Hydras. But now here's the huge engagement. Mutas are going to come up from behind. Baneling's actually shooting out on the Roaches.
They just want their area to affect
damage. But it does look like Sen is going to come up on top, as there are just way too many Roaches for Zenio to handle. And
That's
GG.
GG, wow. Hey, gotta hand it to Sen. That was a textbook ZVZ, multi-tiers of good, to put it in the worst English you possibly can. Sen opening up with that high aggression, facing some controversy earlier when those Banelings were getting to his mineral line, but then kind of rallying back, squeezing drones out where he could, and applying the pressure to Zenio to keep him on his back foot. And Zenio was actually so locked in on that aggression that Sen was able to sneak out Mutalisk.
Yeah. I mean, Sen was able to be cost-efficient with the larva. I'm going to talk about this in terms of larva resource rather than going in terms of actual resource. So his larva was very efficient. The Banelings, he was able to get huge Baneling hits always on his opponent. And by doing that, it forces more larvae to be committed to, let's say, Zerglings or to Roaches or whatever it might be, but attacking units in that beginning phase. And he was able to squeeze out extra larvae and commit those to drones and different things. Now, he was in a little bit of a pickle. He did have 6 Banelings bust on all of his drones, and he lost all of his economy because of that. But he bounced right back after that, got a hidden Spire tech because he was efficient in the beginning stage. And as you said, we went into the analysis during the game, able to take complete map control, picked off all these overlords. That's all larva yet again, weakening the ground army. And when Zenio went out to finally push, Sen was just way too strong and foundated. Is that a word?
It is now.
Foundated into that position. There was nothing he could have done. Sen playing remarkably well, as he always does. I have to agree with you. He's the best Zerg in the world.
We here at the North American Star League like to bring you great games and bastardize the English language, which is the most ironic statement I've made today, because I think bastardize is actually something I just made. Sup. But with that, we're actually just going to go